A very good morning to the August e-gathering. Honorable President, Amity University, Rajasthan, Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar, Sir, Pro-President, AUR, Professor Amit Jain, Sir, invited guest, President IEEE, Rajasthan Subsection, Dr. Rohit Bhakhar, Director AIB and Dean Research AUR, Professor Vinay Sharma, Sir, Deans, Directors, HOIs of various schools and institutions, faculty members, participants, and all my dear students. I, Dr. Manishita Das Mukherjee, Associate Professor at Amity Institute of Biotechnology, Amity University, Rajasthan, feel privileged to welcome you all to the two-day online workshop on bioinformatics and drug engineering held by Amity Institute of Biotech, Amity University, Rajasthan for 2 days, that is January 27th and 28th, in association with IEEE Rajasthan subsection. In our Indian tradition, we seek the divine blessings before beginning any of our programs. For today's program as well, we begin the program by seeking the divine blessings of Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. I request Dr. Ravi Ranjan sir to kindly play the Saraswati Vandana. Sir, please. Thank you so much, Dr. Ravi. Engineering a novel drug using bioinformatics tool is drug engineering. This workshop is aimed to impart knowledge, idea, and recent development in the field of bioinformatics with special emphasis on computer-aided drug designing and chemoinformatics. This workshop is equipped with high standard lectures, extended technical hands-on training session. The technical session is also going to provide you all with a training on homology modeling, structure validation, molecular docking, and so on. I'm very happy to share that we have more than 100 participants from across the country from various universities and research organizations. In fact, we had initially thought of only 50 people for the workshop because we will not be able to monitor very much screens. But because of the response we got, we had to reopen our registration link again and again. So I'm thankful to all the participants who have joined us today. The workshop is organized in association with IEEE Rajasthan subsection, and our speakers and technical persons for the workshop are as follows. Dr. Ajit Kumar, Director, Center of Bioinformatics, Maharishi Dayanand University, Kotak, Rohtak, Haryana. Dr. Dinesh Gupta, Group Leader, Translational Bioinformatics Group, International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology, ICGEB, New Delhi. Dr. Zeenat Mirza, Associate Professor, King Abdul Aziz University, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Dr. Puneet K. Singh, Postdoctoral Scientist, Chonam University, Gonzhou, South Korea. Dr. Poonam Vishwakarma, Postdoctoral Fellow, University of Paris in France, who will be sharing their knowledge base and technical expertise with all our participants. I hope this workshop will be a great learning experience for all the participants. Professor Vinay Sharma is currently serving as Dean Research and Director, Amity Institute of Biotech, Amity University, Rajasthan, Jaipur, since May 2018. Sir has over 36 years of university-level experience of teaching and research in plant science and biotechnology. Earlier, he has served as Associate Professor at Department of Biotechnology, University of Roorkee, currently IIT Roorkee, during 1986 to 1996. Later, Sir was Professor and Head, Department of Bioscience and Biotechnology, Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology at Vanasthali Vidyapeeth during 1996 to 2018. He has been honored with many prestigious fellowships, awards in India and abroad. To mention a few, he is a Fellow of National Academy of Sciences, Fellow of Biotech Research Society, Fellow of Indian Society of Genetics, Biotechnology Research and Development. He was honored with Distinguished Scientist Award in 2013 and later H.S. Srivastava Memorial Award in the year 2016 by Society for Plant Research. Sir is mentor DST Inspire program. Earlier, he was also awarded the Zarur Qasim Gold Medal by Society of Biosciences and Young Scientist Award by Indian Science Congress Association. Sir has been the member of the New York Academy of Sciences as well. Sir has extensive international research experience as visiting scientist professor at many institutions like Institute of Botany, University of Coink, Max Planck Institute, Cohen Technical University, Darmstadt, Germany, University of Central Florida, USA, and others. He was nominated to visit Germany and later to Hungary under the prestigious INSA bilateral exchange program, and Sir has been a DART Fellow too. His broad research area is plant stress biology, molecular plant physiology, biotechnology, and bioinformatics. Sir has published more than 360 research papers with an H index of 36 and an ITEC index of 102 with over 4,280 citations to his credit. Sir has authored 8 books and is on the editorial board of several journals. He has mentored 75 doctoral students in his supervision who are all well placed, and many of them are employed as faculties in Indian and foreign universities and institutions. Sir has handled many research and developmental projects. He has been the DBT coordinator, the Center for Bioinformatics and DBT coordinator. He has been the DST FIST program coordinator. Sir has also successfully handled research projects funded by different scientific agencies, which include DST, DBT, ICAR, UGC, DRDO, India, JSPS Japan, DART Germany, either as principal investigator or as co-investigator. Sir has chaired sessions and delivered over 100 invited inaugural lead lectures in various symposia, conferences in India and abroad, including Spain, Portugal, UK, Italy, China, Japan, USA, Hungary, and Germany. He is member of 9 prestigious scientific bodies. Sir has organized many international conferences, symposia, and many national conferences and symposia, either as convener, co-convener, or organizing secretary. He has also been on the advisory committee of more than 20 other conferences, symposia, etc. In addition to his impeccable research and teaching credentials, he has got a very rich administrative experience which expands more than 25 years. He has pioneered the DBT Center for Bioinformatics, the DST FIST program at the Vanasthali Vidyapeeth. Sir is also the member of many prestigious bodies, which includes the DBT Advisory Program, the DBT Institutional Biosafety Program, etc. Overall, Sir combines the quality of a great researcher, teacher, administrator, communicator, motivator, and advisor. Currently, he is mentoring several young scientists for innovative research at Amity University, Rajasthan. And with these few introductory words, I would request Professor Vinay Sharma, sir, to kindly take over the dais. Sir, please.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Manishta, for a very, very generous introduction. I think it took quite some time. Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar, Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Amit Jain, Chairperson IEEE Rajasthan Subsection Dr. Rohit Bakar, many deans and directors who might have joined this inaugural session, participant to this workshop, and my very, very dear students. Now, we have assembled here today for this two-day workshop on bioinformatics, focusing on the drug engineering. But now, incidentally, bioinformatics happens to be about 3 decades old. But despite it being a very, very new discipline, it is now very well established. Of course, there were ups and downs during its development. It all began, I think, sometimes early 1990s. And Carnegie Mellon in USA was the first institute which started a program, a teaching program in bioinformatics. So the growth initially was slow, but let's say around 2000, when Human Genome Draft project, Human Genome Draft sequence became available, then, it was a big launch for bioinformatics. Everybody was talking about bioinformatics, and many, many companies, private companies, they were taking a lot of interest. In fact, I recall that at Banasli, the Center for Bioinformatics was established in 1998. And a couple of years, it was not so active. But when this human genome, this thing was announced, then I was approached by many people, by private companies as well as by the other organizations, that would you like to collaborate? We want to start bioinformatics in our company, etc., etc. So there was a hype created after the announcement of the human genome. Then there were, that hype, of course, it was a kind of a hype which was a little exaggerated. So then, there were gradually ups and downs over, let us say, for another decade or so, that whether this happens to be the core discipline, the main discipline, whether it should be considered as a support discipline. For instance, when I was in Max Planck, Germany, way back in 2000, I remember 2009 or 10, the entire Max Planck institution has one bioinformatics support cell. And then initially, as this human genome project became available, sequence became available, so many institutions were mushroomed which started UG, PG program in bioinformatics. In fact, later many of them closed. But then, gradually, bioinformatics is now very well established as a main discipline, which cannot be replaced. In fact, it has become an indispensable tool for anybody who is working in biological sciences. If you want to publish a good research paper, then you have to have bioinformatics in it. Now, this has a special promise in terms of drug engineering, drug discovery, and drug engineering. And this, of course, we are now seeing in COVID times also, that, vaccine development, it became an indispensable tool for the drug discovery and for repurposing of drugs. Some of the drugs, for instance, recently, Merck released a drug, molnupiravir, which is a repurposed drug. Initially, it was meant for influenza. We had many other examples which were once recommended but later withdrawn. For example, ivermectin or Montegras or 2DG. Now we have, of course, developed initially by DRDO in collaboration with Dr. Reddy's laboratory. Everywhere, bioinformatics has a very, very important role. Without that, it would not really have been possible. In fact, even in the controversies which we handle, that whether there is origin of this COVID-19 virus from laboratory, or it has come from bats through natural sources, etc., etc. I think everywhere bioinformatics has a very, very distinct role to play. It is a very important role to play in tracing the history, how it first of all came to be developed. So we had, for instance, now so many variants identified. For COVID, we have alpha, beta, gamma, delta, omicron now we have, and there are many others like lambda, epsilon, zeta, eta, iota. I mean, all these, variants, their identification naturally was made possible through the genome sequencing, which essentially cannot be done without bioinformatics. And then how they developed, comparison of their genomes can obviously give us clues regard to its origin, whether from bats, how it has traveled from this animal or that animal, to how it has come to the human being, or is it a synthetic virus? So we have, a very important role of the bioinformatics in the phylogenetic area as well. Now, drug discovery is, of course, now, you cannot imagine without the role of bioinformatics. Now, let us say if we take the total span of time which is spent in development of a drug, conventionally, normal, generally how much time it will take, it will take, some 8 to 15 years or so before a drug is developed and marketed. The initial two phases, they are discovery. They relate to discovery. Then, of course, there are, preclinical trials, which one will do in the laboratories or using animal models. And then later, now everybody knows there are phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 trials, which are done on human beings. Each of the phases is a defined number of population, which will be taken in the phases, the time spent, etc., would be defined at each of these trials. So it's now common knowledge. So that is how a drug is developed. Now, initial stage of the discovery of the candidate molecule, that is essentially the lead. Is that the trials were extended by the governments, and we could see the vaccine commercialized within a short span of time. It has been possibly the shortest time when the trials could be finished and a vaccine could be marketed. But the initial period, discovery is, it may take 5 years, 6 years. That is the longest phase, up to 8 or 10 years. And that phase is the phase where bioinformatics is an indispensable tool. In fact, we shall be learning through the galaxy of experts how, about the nitty-gritties, that how bioinformatics is helping. So essentially 2 steps. We have the identification of the target, the candidate protein or the expression of a particular gene or RNA. So generally it happens to be a protein, which is the target, which must be essential for the survival of the pathogen. It must exclude at the same time human being. It must not cause any harm to the whole human being. So that target identification is very, very important. The target must express in high amounts. It should be available, at all points in time, so that when a lead molecule or when a drug is developed, it should be able to kill the pathogen at all points in time and in complete, I mean, in total. So that that target identification is critical, and there, of course, we have a very, very great role for bioinformatics. We have the knowledge of genomes and the products which help a lot. What is, so that is very important step. And then we have to identify the lead molecules. Now, lead molecules could be in thousands. You just can't predict, take a couple of or 10 or 20 or 30 molecules and then say that fine, these are the molecules which are going to work on the target. No, it doesn't happen that way. We have to conduct what we call as the high throughput screening. And that has been done earlier by way of chemical synthesis, and synthesizing thousands of molecules by way of chemical synthesis has indeed been an enormous task. Now, all this now can be made available, can be done quickly in much shorter span of time. Testing also much larger number of molecules. You can screen even lakhs of molecules through the chemical library, through the relevant softwares which are available, and QSA as SCR is of course great importance. So through this, you would be able to lead to identification of a few candidate molecules, one or two, backed up by a few others, which can, as a backup plan, as a second plan. So that is, bioinformatics is playing a very, very important role there also. So in the discovery process, also in the repurposing of the drugs, therefore we have put this topic as drug engineering, because you already have a drug available, it can be engineered to suit to other kind of pathogen as well. So bioinformatics has become an indispensable tool in all this. And that is what we are going to hear now from the experts during this 2-day workshop. So I am very delighted. I am also very excited also. And I look forward to attend to the lectures myself also, and would encourage all the participants to be very attentive, not to miss what is going on, because all these are very important lectures and are being delivered by the experts in their own domains. So with this, I'll close. Thanks a lot. And I would like to extend my cordial welcome to all the participants to this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You have very well explained the theme of the workshop. Dr. Rohit Bhakar is Associate Professor in Department of Electrical Engineering and Center for Energy and Environment. He researches on multiple aspects of power systems operation and planning, ranging from network pricing, electricity markets, risk management, system flexibility, frequency regulation, wind forecasting, smart grid pricing, energy storage planning, and low carbon policy. Sir has held multiple research grants from EU Horizon 2020 Consortium on energy market design, Indian research agencies for the development of transmission and distribution of network pricing, UK industry on frequency response regulation, and from India UK Consortium on smart energy grids, energy storage technologies, and long term system planning. He is the lead behind India's first of its kind MTech program on power system management. Presently, he is the chairperson of IEEE Rajasthan subsection. With these few introductory words, I would like to request Dr. Rohit Bhakar sir, chairperson IEEE Rajasthan subsection, to please deliver his address. Sir, handing over the dais to you.
Thank you, Dr. Mukherjee. Thank you. Thank you, Amity University, Rajasthan, for inviting me for this session. It is a pleasure to be a part of this event where so learned people are there in this participating in this activity, and one of the best universities in Rajasthan, Amity University, they are organizing this event on a very timely issue of bioinformatics. It cannot be stressed more, as Professor Sharma has already deliberated on it. The role of bioinformatics, the role of the science behind it cannot be stressed more, that we have seen in this COVID times, the role it has played in our lives, in saving humanity. Same is the role of IEEE. IEEE, as one of the largest professional organization, technical organization, it aims to use technology for the benefit of humanity. And we have in IEEE a large segment catering to the researchers who are working on bioinformatics. We have a couple of societies which are already working in this domain. One of them is IEEE Engineering, Medical and Biology Society, where people, researchers like people coming from those who are participating in today's event, as well as people from Amity University. They can always join these activities, participate, become members of IEEE, become senior members, and contribute to the growth of this science as beneficial for everybody. This event, which is sponsored by IEEE, this is not the first one. We have been interacting with Amity University over a long period of time, and we wish to continue our strong collaborations on the IEEE platform, where IEEE brings in research collaborations with those who are interested in research, for industry engagement for people coming from the industry, for skill development for the students, for knowledge dissemination for the students as well as the faculty members. So we have got a wide variety of activities that we keep on organizing. This is one of those. And looking at the list of speakers, I'm very happy to say that the participants who all are participating, a large number of those participants, they would be benefiting from this in a very big way. I'm pretty sure they can carry forward this knowledge that they would be gaining during these 2 days and take it forward for improving their careers, improving their lives, and help others to gain knowledge in this. Definitely, I would look upon the leadership of Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Amit Jain, Pro Vice Chancellor, Amity University. We would request you to continue organizing such events, engaging faculty members, encouraging faculty members to become members of IEEE, becoming nodes of knowledge dissemination, becoming leaders in their segment. This is what IEEE aspires for its members and senior members, as well as for students who can learn a wide variety of skills while participating in these activities. I'm pretty sure that with your leadership, sir, we at IEEE would be happy to gain more from the researchers that are participating in this workshop, as well as other activities being organized. With this, I would like to close and would be happy to see the outcomes being carried forward at Amity University, Rajasthan. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Manali Datta, for organizing this.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, we would definitely, the vision of our founder president is always outcome-based results. So definitely, sir, this is going to give you some outcome-based results, and we are surely going to follow up with the same. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your address. Thank you. Professor Dr. Rakesh Bhatnagar is currently President, Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Rajasthan, Jaipur, and Senior Vice President of Ritnan Baldev Education Foundation, New Delhi. Prior to this, Sir was Vice Chancellor of Banaras Hindu University, Vice Chancellor of Kumaon University, Nainital, and Professor in School of Biotechnology, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Sir, after completion of his PhD from Department of Biochemistry, National Sugar Institute, Kanpur, moved to Freiburg University, Germany as scientist, followed by Medical Hospital, University of Caen, France as visiting assistant professor, National Institute of Health, Bethesda, USA as visiting associate and United States Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases USA as senior NRC associate. After returning to India, Sir joined School of Biotechnology, Jawaharlal Nehru University as associate professor and subsequently became professor. Sir has pioneered the teaching and research in biotechnology at Jawaharlal Nehru University, the first of its kind in the country. He is well known for developing recombinant vaccine against anthrax, the technology of which has been transferred to the industry, and the vaccine has successfully completed phase 1 and phase 2 human clinical trials. One of his significant contributions in the field of research and innovation has been the development of drug-resistant TB diagnostics in collaboration with one of the topmost diagnostic companies. Sir's research has been ranked 7th in the anthrax research globally. Sir has more than 185 research papers to his credit, which have received more than 5,000 citations with an H index of 39 and an ITIN index of 115. He has supervised more than 50 PhD students and more than 100 master's students. Sir is an elected fellow of all three major science academies of India, namely Indian National Science Academy, New Delhi, Indian Academy of Science, Bangalore, National Academy of Science, Allahabad, besides being J.C. Bose National Fellow. Sir is a reviewer of several reputed international journals, namely Vaccine, Molecular Immunology, Applied Microbiology and Biotechnology, Infection and Immunity, FASEB Journal, PLOS One, etc., to name a few. And Sir has been actively providing consultancy to biotechnology and pharmaceutical industries during the last 15 years. He has attracted research grants of about 40 crores from national and international funding agencies. Recognizing extraordinary contribution of his in the field of research and innovation, he has received several prestigious awards and recognitions. Few of them are President's Award for Best Innovation by President of India, ICMR Award for Outstanding Research Work in the Field of Immunology by Honorable Health Minister, Government of India, All India Biotech Association Award, delivered press conference with the then Minister of Science and Technology, Government of India, to announce development of genetically engineered vaccine against anthrax, invited to announce the development of recombinant vaccine against anthrax in the Meet the Press program of American Society of Cell Biology, Washington, D.C. Sir has been a successful administrator and institutional builder. He has served Jawaharlal Nehru University at various important positions like chairperson and dean of School of Biotechnology, director of Advanced Instrumentation Research Facility, director of Academic Staff College, and chairman of Intellectual Property Management Cell. He has created a world-class, state-of-the-art biological safety laboratory level 3, that is BSL 3, at JNU, which is first of its kind in the university system. With his efforts, the School of Biotechnology, Jawaharlal Nehru University, has been ranked at number 1 biotechnology teaching program in the country consistently. Besides this, he has been the chairman of the governing body of Vallabhbhai Patel Chest Institute, University of Delhi, faculty in US-India Joint Research Training Program, Seattle Biomedical Research Institute, Seattle, USA, and president of Indian Society of Biotechnology. With these few words, I would now request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar, Sir, to please share his words of wisdom with the gathering. Sir, please.
Thank you, Mono. Your name is Monoshita. Am I right?
Sir Manishita, yes, sir.
Manishita. Okay.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Manishita, for
Thank you, sir.
elaborate introduction, which was a little more than what it was needed. I am just like one of you, and first of all, let me welcome my esteemed guest, Dr. Rohit Bakhar, who is chairman of the IEEE subsection of Rajasthan. Welcome to MET. My distinguished speakers, including one of my old friends, Dr. Dinesh Gupta from ICGB, which is a neighboring institution of JNU, and all other, our own PVC, Professor Amit Jain, Professor Vinay Sharma, all the deans and directors, organizers, Manali Datta, I can see, and all the faculty members, students, and particularly the people who have registered as a delegate to attend this wonderful, course you have organized on bioinformatics. Let me share some of my experiences in bioinformatics. In 1989, when I returned from United States, the term bioinformatics was not there, okay? So the very first course I designed, which was actually bioinformatics course in JNU, and I call it computer applications in biotechnology. Actually, it was bioinformatics in 1989. That is about 43 years back. Then what happened that Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology noticed it, that there were a lot of efforts in Indian Institute of Science, JNU, Pune University, Madurai Kamraj University, as well as Bose Institute. So they invited us to launch a massive program as bioinformatics. So there were 4 or 5 institutions, including ISC Bangalore, JNU, Madurai Kamraj University, Bose Institute, and Pune University. We were given the responsibility to start bioinformatics in India. And I was the first chairman of bioinformatics from JNU. And there we started not only teaching biotechnology, but we started gathering the resources of bioinformatics, because remember, 1989, internet was not there. And suppose you have cloned a gene and you want to compare your gene with the rest of the genes which are put in the gene bank. You have to do it with the help of a computer offline. There was no online databases available at that time. And even if they were available, you could not access them because internet was not there. Internet became, I think, more popular in India sometimes in 1992 or 93. So we are talking about before the internet era. So we started teaching these courses in bioinformatics and training our students to become the workforce in the industry as well as academia. And that resulted in a lot of activity in bioinformatics all over the country and of course all over the world. And as Professor Sharma rightly mentioned, that after 2000 it became a mega discipline where industry, university, and researchers all over the world, they kept using the resources which are available in bioinformatics. I still remember in 1986, NIH made a big effort to organize National Library of Medicine on what they used to call it those days, silver platter. This was a disk uh, where you could search your all the literature available in a fraction of seconds. So this started in NIH when I was still working in NIH, but it was an offline uh, activity, which eventually got converted into this Medline, which is PubMed you call it today. That everything is available in a fraction of seconds. As far as drug discovery is concerned, which is the topic of today's 2 days workshop, is very important because earlier people used to isolate the drugs or synthesize the drugs, and it used to be an intelligent guess that what kind of molecule you are looking for to treat a particular disease. So we were hunting in the dark, and by introducing the subject of bioinformatics, everything became so rational that I would like to share a couple of examples in my own life. When I was working on developing vaccine against anthrax, we discovered the binding sites of two molecules which can bind to a protective antigen, which is a vaccine for anthrax. And we were interested in finding out a therapeutic antibody. So what we simply did, I think with the bioinformatics tools, we compared these two genes, and wherever the common sequences were there, by the help of site-directed mutagenesis, we could pinpoint here is the domain which binds to a particular vaccine molecule, and if that domain is used to create hybridoma, that means monoclonal antibodies, and eventually, if it can be humanized, you can create a wonderful molecule which will treat anthrax disease even if you have not taken the vaccine. And this became wonderful discovery of our laboratory on which developing vaccine as well as this therapeutic antibody. President of India gave us the award for innovation in 2016. Another thing I would like to share, these days, this drug discovery as well as vaccine discovery, what we call it reverse genetics. Suppose you want to discover a vaccine. Vaccine is very popular subject today because COVID has taught everyone plenty of immunology, plenty of molecular biology. Now everybody knows what is RT-PCR. Everybody knows what is antibody, what is vaccine, how we can immunize, what is the booster dose. Everybody knows. So it became, easy for me to tell even a non-expert what we have been doing in the lab for the last 30 years. So about 5 years back, we launched a program. I think all of you must be going through sore throat once in a while. There are about 500 million people. 500 million people suffer from sore throat yearly. And incidentally, there is no vaccine against that. So every time you go through difficult time, you have sore throat. I think just now Professor Mukherjee was having the sore throat, and I asked her if it is not the COVID. So everybody goes through this sore throat, and there is no vaccine available. So what we did, this is an infection which is caused by streptococcal bacteria. So what we did the reverse genetics, reverse vaccinology. So what we did, in a typical bacteria has about 3,000 proteins. Okay, So we started with 3,000 proteins because now all the information is available on all kinds of databases, all kinds of gene banks. So you can start with 3,000 and try to eliminate what cannot be a vaccine. So you keep on removing a chunk of, let's say, trash, which can never be used as a vaccine. And eventually, by doing this, we could pinpoint 4 molecules, which are potential vaccine for this sore throat, that is streptococcal infection. And all these 4 protein we cloned, we purified, and we tried to test in the animal model whether it can be used as a vaccine or not. And to our satisfaction, one of them was giving wonderful results, which was giving anywhere from 70% to 92% protection against streptococcal infection in mouse model. We submitted this paper to Nature Communications, and the reviewer asked us that you have tested only Indian serotype, but we would like to see whether your vaccine will be globally acceptable or not against all the serotypes prevalent in the world. And that's what we did. And again, we found that it was able to protection against all the serotypes prevalent in the world. And the paper came out in Nature Communications, and we filed the patent, Indian patent as well as US patent for the discovery. So you can see, suppose the same work we would have done without having bioinformatics tools, it would have taken at least 20 years, which we could finish in 5 years. So that is the beauty, that's the power bioinformatics has. And once we saw in JNU that it has such an enormous power, so gradually, the bioinformatics program was converted into a school of computational, systems sciences and integrative systems and integrative sciences, School of Systems and Integrative Sciences. And here, most of the people do bioinformatics, and a lot of new discoveries are coming up from this initial program, which we started as a course, Computer Applications in Biotechnology. So that is the beauty of science. But remember one thing, bioinformatics alone cannot do the things, because bioinformatics is something like computer prediction, that you predict that perhaps this molecule may be a good vaccine or this molecule may be a good drug. So bioinformatics people have to always collaborate with the scientists who are working in the laboratory. And once this collaboration takes place, the discoveries takes place. So I'm very glad it is a very timely topic, and everybody knows that how quickly vaccine against coronavirus came in the market. I think this is the first time that from the discovery of the virus to getting the vaccine in human took only 1 year, which has taught us a lot of lessons. And this will help us in future also to discover new drugs and new vaccines in a faster pace. So with these words, I congratulate organizers of this wonderful workshop and wish all the best for these 2 days, that your resource persons will be interacting with the participants and impart the knowledge so that these people can go back and do research to discover new molecules, new drug molecules, new vaccines, new diagnostics. This is the future. Thank you very much once again for inviting me and giving the chance to talk about bioinformatics, which is very close to my heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's been indeed an honor to have listened to you, sir. Even our participants are very lucky, and we are really thankful to you for sparing your time and sharing your experience with us, as how bioinformatics is the need of the hour. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And with this, we come to the end of our inaugural program. Now I would request Dr. Manali Datta, Associate Professor, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, Amity University, Rajasthan, and Joint Secretary of today's workshop to please come forward and propose the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please.
Good morning to all. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. To all the August gathering present and dear participants, I, Dr. Manali Datta, feel immense pleasure to present the vote of thanks. I must mention my indebtedness to our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, and Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Aseem Chauhan, for being a constant motivation and guiding force in all our endeavors to excel in the field of education and research. I want to express my sincere gratitude to our Honorable President, Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar, who spared precious time to grace this occasion and enlighten us all. Your insights were very inspiring. Thank you so much, sir. I would further extend my hearty thanks to Pro-President Professor Amit Jain for joining us. I would like to take this opportunity to express my deep regards to our invited guest, President IEEE Rajasthan Subsection, Professor Rohit Bhakar, for considering our proposal and sharing his valuable time. Sir, I'm indebted to you and your team for supporting us financially. I'm sure IEEE Rajasthan Subsection has found a reason to continue with the generous support in the future also. I'm also thankful to IEEE Oversight Committee for helping us in the promotion of our event and publishing the workshop brochure on IEEE website. I would especially thank Director, Amity Institute of Biotech and Dean Research, Professor Vinay Sharma, for his unfaltering support and confidence in us. He is the backbone of our institution, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, and a guiding force for our every venture. I would be failing in my duty if I do not underline the importance of our registrar, Amity University, Rajasthan, Dr. Nitin Bharadwaj, and his team, especially Mr. Shashank Sharma, for providing the administration support. I would also like to extend my thanks to my co-workers whose immense meticulous planning, execution, and eye for details has enabled us to organize this workshop. I would like to thank Dr. Manishita, Dr. Ravneet, and Dr. Ravi Ranjan to make this event a success. I would also like to thank Mr. Arvind Mishra for his technical support, and in the same lines, an appreciation goes to all the participants for making this workshop a success. I would especially like to thank Dr. Dinesh Gupta, Group Leader, Translational Bioinformatics Group, ICGB, for attending the inaugural session and gracing the occasion. Thank you all for being with us today. Good day. May I please request Dr. Manishita to close the session?
Thank you, everyone, again. Thank you once again for joining us. Rakesh Bhatnagar, sir, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Rohit, sir, thank you so much. Amit Jain, sir, thank you. Vinay, sir, thank you so much. I request all the participants that you would have received the joining link for the next session, which is going to be our technical session. So I request you all, please leave this meeting and join the other technical session. Your first technical session will be taken up by Dr. Dinesh Gupta, sir. So thank you all. IT team, we can close this meeting and start the second one. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day ahead.